their necks?
It's hard not to laugh. You would laugh your ass off. It's as good as kicked in the nuts.
But we'll start out here with little Tom Morello. This is Loveline. Phone number is 1-800-LOVE-191. He is Boots Riley. He is Tom Morello. They are Street Sweeper Social Club, and she is Mary Morello.
Mary Morello is right now, she's got the nice little dog, the Chihuahua in the studio, whose name's Stanley, on her lap. She's trying to untangle the dog and the headphones.
I don't remember Mary's the details about her story, but I remember being fascinated by it. When she was younger, she just took off and went to Africa.
My mom grew up in a small farming and coal mining town in central Illinois called Marseilles, Illinois, which is spelled exactly like Marseille, France, but since it's in central Illinois, it's pronounced Marseilles. It's the kind of town. That's where I spent every summer growing up as a kid, and it's the kind of town where no one leaves. Everyone marries young and works in the factory or works in the antique shop, and for reasons. My mom is trying to wrangle.
What's that, Mary?
She's trying to wrangle the dog right now. She's got this dog on her. But for reasons unknown, as a early 20-something, my mom lit out on traveling the globe for the next 20 years, living in Japan and in Germany right after World War II, and in Spain, and eventually ended up in Kenya, where she met my father. And, in the midst of Kenya's overthrowing British colonial rule there, and then we moved back to Illinois with me, and, I grew up in central Illinois again. It's quite a tale.
And your father was the country's first ambassador to the UN, is that right?
That's correct. And that's why I was born in New York City, and we lived in Harlem, and then he went back to... Nairobi, and we went back to Illinois, and then I grew up in Libertyville, Illinois.
Well, let's not talk about Mary as though she isn't there. She's sitting right in front of us.
I think she's fixed the dog problem. Mom,
but Mary,
move that microphone near you.
I have just one question. What motivated you to hit the road? What was going on with you?
Well, in high school, I had a history teacher who her parents were missionaries in China, and she was born in China. And, she talked about the world, and my parents were perfectly, I think I was 22 when I went to Germany after World War II to teach in Wiesbaden the children of people in the Air Force, because, it's still Air Force headquarters in Europe.
But there's something unique. Everyone else in your high school had that same teacher.
Right.
And everyone
Mary
else,
got up and
one
got
person,
on a boat.
A woman alone went. It's a very unusual.
Right. And I didn't think it was unusual.
I know you don't.
Tom's
think it's
the one who's thought up that it's unusual.
But you must have had extraordinary parents too to support that and feel good about it.
Oh yes, my mom and dad were happy. Like however I got to Europe, sometimes the Army flew us, and sometimes we went on a ship. And my mom and dad would go to New York City and see me off.
Wow,
So,
that's a very interesting story.
Yeah, well,
Mary,
that's why I was going to say I raised Tom to be free. You raise them well, and then you just let them go, and they
Mom was always very supportive when, ours was the basement where the punk rock band could rehearse. And then when I had graduated from an Ivy League school and announced that I was going to move to Hollywood to live in a squat and pursue rock and roll, Mom was very supportive of that too. So it's
I can see why.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense to me, especially if you're sort of raised with the idea that free expression and exploration is the way to go.
Yeah. Did she ever dream that you would be named 26th greatest guitar player of all time by Rolling Stone?
She's actually pissed about that. She thinks I should be much higher on the list.
I agree.
Yes.
Who was number 25?
Yeah, one time in some magazine he was listed in the top 3, so that's why I clowned him.
That's the good magazine.
That's the one she subscribes to.
All right, well, Mary, you can chime in if you feel comfortable. We're going to go to calls.
No, I'm fine, but I hope all of you resolve your problems along the way and just have patience here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk to Paige, who's 19. Paige?